Well, first of all, we've got a really cool crowd here. Got a really cool group. It's
Super
super
cool.
engaging. Of course, everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying welcome. Very cool. And like you said, we've got a very international group here in this. But the reason why I wanted to have Ryan on is obviously the Facebook group here at Connect, Contribute, Collaborate is filled with such amazing people that are all doing inspiring things, and it's so engaging. It's such an engaging community where people are jumping on calls like this, the transformational group coaching calls. They're organizing collaborations between each other, partnerships. Some of the posts just blow up and create a huge amount of engagement and audience participation, all those cool things that really make a difference. And I get messages all the time of people saying how much value they've got from the group, how much they're able to actually implement a lot of the tactics, tools, and strategies, or at least some of the mindset pieces as well. And the awesome people they've met in the group, because it is so engaging and people are so they just love how much value they get. And so I thought it'd be cool to have Ryan on, who's an expert in helping Facebook groups succeed, not only if you're able to do it for an engaging community, but also to help your business get that platform and have that, really have that, that sense of a foundation, right? For a tribe, for you to sell, for you to let people know about what you're doing. So it's going to be super valuable and insightful for Ryan to go through a bit of a presentation, and for you guys here live on the call to ask any questions you have and do that. But I think it'd be cool to ask a bit of a question for the group. Maybe type in 1 if you already have a Facebook group, and maybe type in 2 if you're thinking of starting a group.
Cool.
And,
great question.
And if you're looking to build a community of your own.
Awesome. So everyone so far has got one. Anyone not got a group just yet? Pop in 2 if you don't have a group.
Ben Baker's ready to start one as well, and he's keen to learn and keen to get that rocking and rolling very, very soon.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Perfect. All right. Tyson, dude, thanks so much for having me.
No problem.
Really cool to hang out with your crew, and I'm excited for everyone that's on the call. I love this style of, that we can, jam out. I think Barbara was in line at an airport, maybe. Like it just blows my mind. So I'm super grateful before we even get started that we get to connect like this. And I guess that's the whole purpose of your group, right? Is to bring people together in that fashion. So well done, and thanks for having me on. It's a huge honor.
You're welcome.
So if everyone, I'll post it in the chat if you've just jumped on, that everyone can grab that workbook. You can keep that, you can use it, you can fill it out another time. At least make sure you've just got pen and paper. Today I want to make sure that this is interactive, and we'll do Q&A as we go, but we'll definitely spend a little bit of time. How much time have we got today? 3 hours or 5 hours?
I think it's 7.
Okay, 7. Cool. Sweet. So lock yourselves in. But I think an hour, is that right? Or
yeah, somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour.
Cool.
Is generally what we do these calls on.
Yeah. So Tyson, if I could get you to help me keep an eye on chat, if there are questions that pop up, that'd be sweet. And if everyone's got their workbook or pen and paper, or an iPad or something, that'd be perfect as well. So I think since we've answered who's got a group and who doesn't, that's perfect. This is going to be really helpful for all of you. If you haven't started one yet, you'll be able to now think through this lens of, okay, this is what I want to put in place when I kick my group off. And honestly, like brand new decade, brand new year, is a perfect time to launch one. So you're in the right spot. If you've got one, it's the right time to build on that, or maybe fix up a few, leaky holes, etc. Dawn's got a few or several groups. So that's perfect. Okay. So, essentially, my whole goal with everyone that I come into contact with is to help them grow a profitable group. Out of all of the people, hundreds of thousands of people that I get to talk to on this topic, thousands now, only like 1% of people have got a group just for community purpose, like where it's just a hub for people to hang out. And that's totally cool. But the majority, being the 99%, is a group for business, you know, something that revolves around their business. And so that's where I sort of hang out and help people most of all with. And so my whole goal for you, if you've got a group attached to your business, is to make that a profitable group. Okay, not just one that is there to tell stories and hang out in. And there's sort of 3 reasons why I want to help you create a profitable one. It's so that you can feel that sense of momentum as opposed to being stagnant. You can get more meaning from it, meaning, you know, you're impacting more people. Like Tyson here is, you know, with all of you. You guys are finding purpose or connecting with each other, growing things, doing awesome stuff, and he finds purpose in that as well. And more money as well. How do we serve people at our highest level? Usually that involves working with them in some capacity, and so more money as well, okay? The way that we do that, the way that we break that stuff down, it's like that's all well and good, is there's sort of 3 cores, and draw along with me as well. If you've got that workbook, feel free to draw on it if you're on an iPad or something, or just a piece of paper, just draw this stuff up so you can get it as well. Okay, the 3 spheres that we want to work through is growing a group. You know, how do we fill it with people that are like-minded, like us, and that are on the same journey or looking to get to where we are maybe? How do we engage it? Okay, making that a real community, just like this one, okay, where people talk, where there's questions being asked, where there's someone sharing value, okay, that sort of conversation is going on. And then finally, how do we monetize it? If I could spell this morning. I should be warmed up. It's Tuesday here. It's Monday for some others, but I should be warmed up, right? So how do we monetize it? They're the 3 core spheres: growing it, engaging, monetizing it. What we're going to work through today is a couple of these outer accelerators which tie into doing those things really well. So in the time we've got, we want to work through a couple and like to find out where everyone's at. But one of them is optimizing your presence online so that people organically will fill your group and they'll be the right people, okay? Second is, you know, strategies around filling your group from Facebook, from Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, whatever the platforms you're using, email, etc. And in that build section as well, it's building a list. You know, Facebook has gone down this year a couple of times in different ways. Ad accounts get shut down. You know, Mark could do whatever he wants and we would lose control sometimes of our business. You know, I'd love to know right now for everyone here, if the internet was to die, would your business survive or would it die? Just put in survive or die into the chat. It's always a fun question to ask. Like mine would die. Tyson's, yep, yours would die. Yep. Okay, survive for Ben, cool. So, you know, we need to build a list. So email is still the strongest form of making sure that we've got a secure platform. Even ManyChat is changing on January 15 to what they allow and disallow, okay? In the engage sector, there's 3 sort of pieces. We want to be able to create content that resonates with our people, and we then want to maximize our time by being able to schedule that in or having a team member do that for us. And ultimately, what this does is builds culture. Because people are engaged, they're communicating, they're building rapport with you, and we're having a good time. In the monetize section, we need to figure out, how do we generate leads? How do we get people to put their hand up and say, hey, I would love, Tyson, to have a chat with you, talk about, you know, where I'm at, what you do, and maybe have a conversation about fixing that or taking it to the next level. Cool. So we do that in a few ways. We do it either via booking calls, okay, or selling by chat. Okay, so whichever way your business, if you've got programs, you know, we can sell by chat. If you've got higher ticket programs, you can book calls. If you've got physical products, you know, how do we send people or send them through a funnel, okay, to sell your stuff? So ultimately, that's sort of how we break it down into pieces. What I'd love to know before we move forward is which one of those stands out the most to you in terms of wanting to learn that piece. If you could just pop it in. Is it learning how to create the content that really engages a community and brings that engagement right up in your group? Is it, maybe it's optimizing your presence or filling your group? Just pop something into the chat. Is it learning how to generate leads or build culture? What is it for you sort of on this call that you'd like to get the most out of? And we'll jump into it.
Jess says grow.
Okay, cool.
Dollars.
$. Okay.
Sarah, build culture, generate leads. For
Yep.
Danielle, create content and build culture. For Andrea, Christy, build the list.
Build the list.
Gina, monetize. Dawn's just all of the above.
All right, cool.
She's a bit greedy.
Good on you, Dawn. I think she said she's got several groups, so she wants all of the stuff.
Yeah, Ben's all of the above as well. The engagement is probably awesome. It's probably 2. Okay. Basically, everyone's all of the above. Look, just give us all the answers, all right?
Yeah, let's do all of the answers, and we'll be here for a number of hours or days. We can make it work, though. See who's hanging on at the end. And I mean, ultimately, the thing we've all felt probably if we haven't done stuff right here is if we're not growing our group, it leaves us in a spot of really no momentum. We've all been there, feel stagnant, like the group's not doing much. What do I do with it? If we're not engaging it, ultimately we've got no audience to speak to. And we all know that's a issue in businesses that we have these days online, especially. If we're not monetizing, pretty simple, no money's coming in. Okay, so we want to turn that around. So let's pick a few pieces then and go through. So grow, culture, leads, content.
So it seems culture, a lot around the
couple
growth.
Of culture things, okay.
Seems a lot around the growth and a lot around the getting of leads.
Engagement, culture.
There's a few with culture as well.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, let's just hop around. We can bounce back and forth. I think where I'd like to start then with culture is probably one that's going to be a huge perspective shift. Big thing I found with a group compared to a business page. Can everyone just put in a P if you've got a Facebook page? And if we get 12 responses, that means, or 11, that means everyone's got one page. I'm assuming most people have a page, okay? And so what we've got here is billboard and living room. Big shift that changed things for me and sort of the guys I get to work with was this shift right here. When we've got a business page, we've been so used to them for so many years. It's sort of like a billboard. I ask people the question, when was the last time you drove down the freeway, saw a billboard, went home, opened up your phone or your laptop, went to that site and bought the thing? Can anyone tell me a story of when you did that or recall a story? Maybe you have, but like for me, it just doesn't work that way in terms of marketing, all right? And that's sort of like what a Facebook page is. It's like a billboard, okay? So there's no relationship, all right? There's no rapport that gets built. There's no communication, like all of the things really that need to be built or acquired for us to build a business, all right? Now, the difference is a group is much more like your living room. Think about the conversations that go on there. You might, watch movies together. Think about content. You might have debates, right? You might solve world problems, okay? There's a big difference in the shift that happens in someone's house. Think about your living room versus a billboard, okay? So in terms of the perspective, when you think about your group, just think about the conversations, the community, the people that you bring into your house. Maybe you share meals there. Maybe you have jokes. Maybe like there's so much more stuff that happens in a living room than a billboard. Just to check in, like a quick pit stop. Does that make sense to everybody? Just give me a yep or a unclear. Because once you get that and you start thinking through that lens for your group, like every piece of content, every live you do, every poll you put up, every piece of value you share, every lead gen post, whatever it is, if you're thinking through this lens over here, it's a way different, frame that you're setting stuff up with, okay? But you're not wrong if you've been doing it this way. It's just how we've been programmed, because pages were the first thing that we started using via Facebook. All right. So keep that in mind. And then when we start to, I'm going to bounce around here, start to create content, we want to do it in 4 sets of, or 4 different themes. Okay. Tyson, you got a favorite color actually?
Blue.
Done. Cool. All right. So pens at the ready. This is going to be super helpful for you. So there's 4 different themes, okay, when you want to think about creating content in your group. The first is value. This is first and foremost, it should be always leading from value. The reason why people are going to join your group in the first place is because they need or want or desire something that you've got, all right? So it needs to be valuable. Now, let's just do a quick team think, all right, in the chat. What are some types of value that you might post or put in your group? Think about maybe what Tyson puts in the group. Think about what you put in your group. Just drop them in the chat. We're going to come up with 10 or 15 different ideas here in about 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to start you off. It might be an interview. Okay, coaching session. Yeah, just drop them in.
We got hot seat.
Hot seat.
Video.
Yep, what else?
Videos on leadership, educational items.
Boot camps.
Interviews. Yeah, we've got interviews. Top tips and tricks.
Yep.
Awesome. Andrew says tricks as well.
Getting people
challenges.
Put their goals, challenges.
Jess says ebook. Awesome.
Yep, ebook, lovely. Keep them coming. What else we got, team?
Master classes.
Yep.
Awesome.
What else?
Yeah, Rich said hacks.
Questions.
Post questions for conversation.
Question for convo.
Webinars.
Webinar. Awesome. What else?
Walkthroughs of tech.
Okay. Tech walkthrough. Great. Super helpful. What else? Member spotlights.
Checklists.
Checklists. All right. Now, I didn't put a timer on, but I've got a feeling that's about a minute, right? Has everyone got this list now? Just copy off my page, write this stuff down, and let me know, does this give you now some ideas of some valuable stuff that your members might find like, yep, that could really help? Cool, Regina, it's yep, awesome, great. This is where we want to lead from, and that's why it's the first piece in this pie, all right? It sort of sets the tone for people in the group as to why they should be there, why they should engage, why they should respond, post, ask, etc. Okay, really cool to make sure you get that right from the start. Irene says, yeah, awesome. Okay, so just jot some of those things down. There's a ton of stuff there that you could implement. You could just pick one of those things and implement that today, and that would bring value to your group. Okay, the second is share style posts. And this is where we want members to share about themselves. Okay, if I were to ask you the question, Tyson, what's the number one thing that I know everyone on this call, everyone in your group, everyone in my group loves to talk about more than anything in the world?
Themselves.
Perfect. Okay. So when we post shares, we want them, we want people talking about ourselves. What would that include? Okay. So let's just do another 30 seconds here. What would some form of post, okay, or piece of content be that involves someone else talking about themselves? Okay. Might cause you to think a little bit deeper on this one, but let's pop it into the chat. What sort of stuff would cause someone to talk about themselves? Let's see what you guys have got.
This one is a bit more tricky.
Ben's on it.
Wins.
Yep. Yeah, read them out.
Sarah, what they're working on. Ben says challenges. Chrissy says questions. Jess says, tell me about blank. And also polls.
Polls, yeah, nice.
They're giving their opinions, cool. Christy, what they accomplished, their why.
Yep.
Dawn. Danielle, What are your stress management challenges?
Okay, so you're talking about questions.
Perfect.
Questions that, are opinion based. Okay. For example, if you go to my personal profile this morning, I was having this conversation with family. I was like about ordering food online, groceries. And so I put it up on my profile, who orders groceries online? And there's this like ongoing debate of like, yep, it's the best. No, it's not fresh. Like people just want to share their opinion on stuff. Okay. Yep. Recommendations.
Just as what would you like to see type of questions.
Yep. Cool. So books, podcast. Cool. Anything else there that I've missed or?
That's everything.
Nice. Cool. All right. So now, I mean, even in there, you might put like a Instagram link, group link, share your group, share your page, those style posts, people, websites, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We love talking about ourselves. I'm guilty of it. We all are. Okay. So that stuff is in the share section, right? If we do this right, engagement's going to go up. People are going to feel heard, welcomed, valued, etc. Does that make sense to everyone before we move on to the bottom half? Just give me a yes if this is making sense and sort of coming through nice and clear. What you can do once we're done with this, literally take a screenshot of this once we're done and like there's your content for the next year. All right? Cool. Once we get into the bottom section, okay, so up top, we're feeling pretty good. We're adding value. People are sharing about themselves. Things are feeling really good. But that doesn't bring clients our way. That doesn't really move the needle in really being able to impact our people, okay? So when we start to get below, we want to ask some different types of questions, some painful questions, okay? What might be some things that you ask that causes someone a bit of pain or realizes some discomfort or that, that they haven't reached or met their goal? We don't have to go through these ones, but ultimately we want to identify that, hey, you're at A, but you want to be at B. Yeah, Richard, what do you need to let go of? What has been holding you back from reaching, family freedom, financial freedom, or getting to 5 figures a month in your group? Some of those questions that just identify, hey, you're currently at A, you want to be at B, what's in the road there? Does that make sense to everyone? We won't go through and jot out all of these, but it's essentially, if you've been in sales for any amount of time, it's just going, where's the gap in what they're wanting? We all want more in some facet, in life, in business, in family, in relationships, etc. And whatever you do, just want to find out where that gap is and just ask people about that. It's not, you don't want to push the button on this one, daily. Definitely don't want to be doing that. Okay. It's sort of like, when do I need to go, all right, there's been enough value, there's been enough sharing. Now it's time to ask people, what are they actually struggling with? Okay. Yeah. What do you imagine for yourself? That's a great question, Jess. Great question. Once we've sort of found that out, we can find out a bit about people's pain points and go, all right, can I solve that? Do I need to add that to what I'm offering? How can I really serve people? The final one is lead gen style posts. Once we have worked through top and the bottom, we've added some sort of pain styled questions. It's all right. Now we want to get people to raise their hands and say, yep, I'd love to have a chat about that. Now, when it comes to what I teach, my whole philosophy, I guess if you call it that, is doing it in a really like non-pushy, non-salesy way, because we've all been around marketing online, especially for some time now. We've read the books, we've probably seen the videos, we've gone through the funnels, we've landed on the pages, and we've been, opened up to urgency and scarcity that are false, okay? And all of those things. And to me, I don't know how it feels to you, but it feels yuck. I don't like being pushed, pressurized, told that there's limited amounts when there's not, that style of thing. So when it comes to asking a question, we want people to raise their hand where they have an opportunity to say, Tyson, yeah, I'd love to have a chat about that. Okay. It's not saying, hey, there's 10 minutes to go, buy my thing. There's only 5 left when there's 1,000, when it's a digital product, right? Maybe you do close the door on it and that's legitimate. Totally cool. But we want to do it in a non-salesy, I say a non-douchey way. Okay. I don't know if that is like, if that's a term known in the rest of the world, but it is here in Australia. Now, the way that we do that is by using what I call the golden rule. Okay. Learned this from my friend Taki Moore, and I put it sort of into a model like this. Okay. And really simple, you know, we give and we also ask. That's basically the premise of our groups. Okay. We give and we ask, but where people get this wrong is they give in private and they're constantly asking in public. Okay. So what does that look like? You'll see people constantly sign up, sign up, sign up. And it's in the public realm very much in a salesy manner. If we get this right, we flip this around and we give in public and we ask in private. Okay. What does that mean? It means that this conversation here is happening in a one-on-one basis where you can say, hey, dude, does this feel like a right fit for you? You know, would you like to jump on board? Okay. That sort of conversation isn't happening in public. It's happening in a private conversation on the phone, a Zoom call, via a text message, chat, etc. In public, we're giving. People see us that we're giving value away. Does that make sense to everyone? Tyson, does it make sense on your end?
Totally. Cool. Totally. And that's what, you know, I've been doing time again, and everyone seen in the group is how much I give and how much it's all public. And then
totally.
The last few months, everyone that's jumped into my one-on-one coaching, it's all been private, of just getting on the phone, ask people, getting to know them in depth. And that's what I found to be super impactful. And you get to understand the person a bit more, so then you can see if it's the right fit for you as well.
Dude, exactly. So timeout for everybody that we've got. I know you're probably busy scribbling down as much as you can. Just to check in, what we've covered so far is sort of the perspective shift as to getting used to a page versus what we do in a group. Then we've sort of gone through the 4 content themes and sort of how you outwork them within a group. And then finally, sort of that golden rule, giving in public, asking in private. So far, what's been a takeaway that you found, like a light bulb, an aha moment? Just pop that into the chat for me. I'll pop 60 seconds on the screen. Would love to hear from everyone. Just let us know. What's been one thing that you've taken away already that you're like, cool, I can implement that. Maybe it was the 4 content themes, you know, of adding value, sharing, asking pain questions and lead styled questions. Maybe it was the content within those. You know, maybe you've found a brand new piece of content that's valuable that you haven't used before.
We got 4 quadrants of content, golden rule for sure. Yeah, 4 content quadrants, aren't as complicated as sometimes seem.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah, how to set up the content effectively. Of course. Dawn says it's all good. I just need more content. Yeah, so she's got the content ideas.
Okay, great.
Awesome. For me personally, I think in the group, and you guys could probably talk to this as well, I think it'd be really cool to have more posts and engagement around sharing. I'd love to hear more about what it is from you guys and have that piece of engagement as well.
Yeah, love that. That's fantastic. So maybe just pop up, if you've got this on iPad, spend like 30 seconds just in the learnings and actions table at the top. Just jot down some of those learnings so you can implement those. Okay, so that you don't walk away and there's like all of these notes and you don't know which one is the one that you want to do. Jess has a question. Is it value up front? How does one-to-one in the back function best? Yeah, so value up front might be, and I'm not sure who suggested it, might have been you, Jess, sharing, a checklist. So in my group, you'll find a checklist on setting up a group. You'll find do's and don'ts in Facebook group. I call them the 7 deadly sins of a Facebook group owner. You'll find engagement scripts to get your engagement revived or maybe thriving again. So that sort of stuff is value up front. And my whole goal, and we're having a discussion on this at the moment in the group, was people saying, well, how much do we give? And I said, well, if you give away more free content, okay, that your competitors are charging for, okay, you're going to win 10 times out of 10. So my whole goal 2019 was to give away more free content than what my competitors were charging for. And I've seen the business grow end on end, month on month. So we often get caught up in like, oh, I don't want to give away too much because that's sort of, my paid stuff, etc. But honestly, the people that are watching can't implement all of the stuff. Like, unfortunately, everyone on this call, you're all amazing, but you're not going to implement on all of this stuff. Okay. Those of you that do, you're going to see some epic changes. Most of you will do 1 or 2 things, right? But there's so much content out there, we just miss the gaps. Does that make sense to everyone? So give away as much as you can for free that, won't put you under the water. And you'll see awesome things happen in the rapport that you build with people that know now that you are an authority in the space. Cool.
We have a question from Ben as well saying,
yeah, go.
Why Facebook group and not LinkedIn groups? Can I use the same thoughts on LinkedIn?
Dude, great question. I'm just not a LinkedIn, I don't classify myself as a LinkedIn expert. I've got so many questions about there, and I just spend the majority of my time on Facebook. However, I can say that my clients use these strategies on LinkedIn and they do work, but for building a Facebook group. Okay. So they'll use group growth posts like, that we've got that will then send people over to Facebook because that's the platform that they want to play on, not necessarily building a LinkedIn group. So I hope that helps answer your question, Ben. Even engagement styled posts, will work on LinkedIn for sure. People still want to talk about themselves. So what if we just talk about filling up your group maybe with some ideal people and see what shifts you can make to make this, change in the next 24 hours that'll start sending people your way. When it comes to entry points into your group, and this will be really interesting to find out from everyone where they're at on this. I classify it as 7, but there's plenty more than 7, all right? So sort of split up into, whoops, what do we got? There's one here. We've got your Facebook page. So we've all talked about, we've got a Facebook page, etc. You've got Facebook profile. And ultimately, you want to be utilizing these that send people towards your group. Got a website. Does everyone have a site? Okay. And an email list that we're building continuously. And maybe on your site, you've got thank you pages for downloading ebooks or buying products, etc. And then you might have some other social medias in there as well. You might have Instagram, might be LinkedIn, all right? And then sort of on every lead magnet that you create as well. So just type in out of these 7, how many you've got. If you've got all 7, just put a 7 in the chat. If you've got 5, pop in 5. Just work out how many you got, pop it in the chat for me. Yeah, Jess has said Pinterest. So there's a ton of other places that you can utilize to send people towards your group. Okay, 7, 6, 6, 5, cool. What would be some other channels that we can utilize to send people toward our group?
And what about like in-person events? People going to in-person events.
Hey, yeah,
you can always just check in and say, "Hey, man, I've got a group. Come and join," especially if you're doing speaking and that sort of thing as well.
Yep, 100%. Events. What else? Yeah, TikTok. Don't use it, but sure, 100%. Books. Great. What else we got? Does that say summits? Referral partners. Yep. Podcast, great. You know, you call to action at the start, at the end, you know, throughout, etc. YouTube channel. In the description, call to end, call to action, etc. Really cool. Oh, and Simo, dude, great to have you on the call as well. Epic. One of our group members. Welcome, dude. Really cool. Cool. So we've got, you know, up top here, we've got a bunch of different areas that you could also send people to. So if you've got any of those, just circle them, write them down. Think about, you know, how your messaging is going out. Yes, Slack, another one. Yep, for sure. Totally. Now with these, do we have them set up so that there is a call to action on those things? So, you know, what does our Facebook page look like? What does our profile look like? What's on our site? You know, on our email list, is there anything, you know, after our signature that says come join the group? On the back end of our thank you pages, there should be a button that says join group, okay? On our Instagram, LinkedIn, all these places in our lead magnets, okay? Even if you check out the bottom of this workbook, you know, there's ways to connect with me and join the group, all right? So in all areas, we should be sending people towards our Facebook group. Why? Because it's like a living room. It's the best place that we can build rapport with someone. It's not an email list where there's no conversation. It's not an Instagram story, you know, where there's really no back and forth. Call to actions across these places are really important, okay? Yeah, a few more things. Blogs. Yep, for sure. So if everyone's got those down, okay, Jess said needs some work. Let's look at how we can do that right now. On your site, really simple way to do it. And sort of the psychology of marketing, you know, from studies that have been made is like how our eyeballs actually scan pieces of content is we start up top left, we move to the right, we come diagonal, almost like a Z, okay? That's sort of how we look across content. So if you were to analyze your site and see what's on there, just check it out. You know, logo is not too important because if they don't know you, it doesn't matter really. But right here, as they move right, there's a huge call to action to join the group. And then they'll come down and see, you know, what it is I do and then like download a thing, okay, before moving below the page. Now, all of us at one time or another have jumped on a site and just scrolled to the bottom and like missed all of the content in the middle, right? So at the bottom, there's a huge let's connect. And again, big call to action, just join the group. It's the next step that you can do to sort of come into my world, gain some value, maybe learn a thing or two and go from there. Does that make sense to everybody? Can everyone implement that, you know, pretty easily before 2020? Yeah, cool. And you'll find, you know, whether you're sending paid ads there or not, people jumping into your group really organically, okay? Let's talk about your Facebook profile. This is always a fun topic to talk about because we've all got one. Does anyone not have Facebook? I'd be surprised. Actually, Sarah, what's your favorite color? Let's use something that you want. Purple. All right, done. Cool. So 7 profile points. This is going to be really important. Make sure you're taking notes here because all of you can implement on this. My whole big thing is stop making it so damn hard for people to join your group, okay? Stop making it so hard. All right, it's really, really simple. The first is your cover photo. And I'm going to move through this really quick because you'll have this document you can take notes along the way. Okay, it's just an opportunity to, you know, tell a little bit about yourself in like 10 seconds or 10 words or whatever. Okay, so what's your elevator pitch? It's a great place to pop it because when people see a comment of yours in a group, a post of yours online, and they hover over your name with their mouse, if they're on desktop, this pops up, okay? So right here is what pops up with a little bit about mutual friends, etc. And if they can get a gauge as to sort of what you do and who you help, you know, and see that you're legit, maybe they're more likely to click on your profile, add you as a friend, or come across and find your group, all right? Now, not everyone feels comfortable with that, and that's totally cool. I didn't want my group to grow at a point as well, okay? So when you're ready, take the plunge, and I challenge you just to do it in a nice, simple, effective way. The second thing about your cover photo is you can add a link as the description. So just like you would a caption on a photo, just add in there and like tell people about your group. Hey, this group is for people that want to grow groups, engage them and monetize them. Here's the link, come and join. All right. If we move over to 3, we're talking about your bio here. It's character, it's like Twitter. There's only a certain amount of characters you can put on there. So to keep it short, really tight, and add a bit.ly link to your group so you can track how many people are clicking on your group, just like that. Can everyone see that? Makes sense? Okay. So another spot. If we think about where people, when they land on your profile, are looking, they're coming across, they're starting to move here, and once again, moving to the right. Okay. If we move to number 4, it's the content that's on your profile. Now, my rule of thumb is in sort of 1 to 3 scrolls, okay, what content will people see? Do they see you sharing memes and videos of Kim Kardashian, you know, latest episode, I don't know. What sort of content do people see on your profile in 3 to 4 scrolls? Is it the content that says that you are an authority in the space that you're claiming to talk about, okay? Or that you've got some knowledge there at least, even if you're just starting out? What is it that is coming up on your profile? If you were to go on my profile on whatever date I took this screenshot, you'd see that, you know, even someone else tagging me was talking about me helping in business and doing something with them, all right? Now, maybe a barrier that you might have to get through is like, my Facebook's only for family and friends. And I was like that as well. I'd gotten sick of Facebook and really wanted it just to be family and friends and nothing else. Once I got over that, I saw my business grow by 500%, okay? Once I started accepting people within the network, mutual friends of people I didn't quite know, but I knew they knew Tyson, right? Or they knew a good friend of mine, or they knew, you know, entrepreneurs that I was connected with, etc. Business grew as my friends list grew. Okay, so if that's saying anything, I'd encourage you to think about optimizing your profile towards your business. Because here's the thing, most Facebook accounts on average have 500 friends. Now, if you ask me, I don't have that many family or close friends, all right? If that was my list. Okay, so that means the majority of these people are going to be, you know, in the network, people that I don't know, or friends of friends. If you're going to split it up, just do it at like a 70-30 or a 40-60 as to whether you're posting business stuff or personal stuff. Does that make sense to everyone? So still share your family holidays, still share Christmas coming up, still share videos of your kids, etc. But just balance the type of content. Like we talked about in the 4 themes, balance it on your profile as well. Make sure there's enough business on there for people to understand that you can help them with their problem, okay? Just want to time out. Is this making sense to everyone? I don't want to just be talking at you. I want to make sure that this is sitting okay and well. Because like I said, when I shifted that and I was like, all right, I'm going to open the doors. I'll still be specific with who I accept as a friend. Okay, I still want it to be quality people doing awesome things to impact people. But when I did that, business grew simultaneously.
So Simone has a question here saying, I'm having problems with deleting one of the social links on my details section. I can't get rid of it.
Dude, I had this problem yesterday. Literally had the problem yesterday, and I tried adding a few different links and then I got stuck there. So I just like made that literal section only available to me, and then have just rolled out, I think it's website or Facebook group, might be the group now there. Okay. And I'm just going to let it roll, and hopefully Facebook will sort itself out. I feel like it's a glitch in their stuff. Can't answer that fully though. So that's your content. Back over here at number 5, it's talking about this perfectly. So Sumo, thanks for the segue. Okay. Use these links down here to promote your group. You can add a website. I'd encourage you to make it your group over your website. Okay. Okay. So add group link. Really simple. In there. Okay. 6 is your featured photo. And that's this big sucker right here. If you go on my profile, like you can't help but see that when you scroll down it. Okay. If you go on your profile, it might be like 9 photos of yourself. Okay. I'd encourage you to remove those and choose one which tells people about your group and make that the featured photo. And then secondly, add a link to it. Okay. Just in the description. Can't tell you how many people click on that and then come and find my group. Is that cool with everyone? Sarah said, such a great idea. Awesome.
That's awesome. We've got a couple of questions here as well. So
yeah, go for it.
Do you find that you're able to attract VP level people to join your Facebook group? So do you attract people that are of like, you know, some sort of key decision makers and that sort of thing?
100%. Dude, the craziest thing is, you know, part of the strategy is posting value in, you know, groups to help other people's community. And if you do that without asking or saying DM or comment or whatever, you know, you're not pitching to anyone and you're adding value. I've had 2 or 3 like 8-figure dudes reach out and say, hey dude, like I don't engage in that group much, but I do lurk it and your content caught my eye. Can we have a chat? So definitely it's crazy the amount of high level thinkers and business leaders hanging out within groups. So Ben, hopefully that answers your question.
Awesome.
Cool. Does that help for everyone? If we just time out, from what we've just covered here in terms of your site, the entry points and your profile has been valuable or most valuable to you, or like, yes, I could do that. No problem. It's not going to cost me any team or, you know, anything. Just pop in a quick learning or action that you're going to take action on.
We've got Jess here says, definitely makes sense, but maybe a work personal page would be better than just a straight up personal page. Do you have any sort of?
Yeah, for sure. And while everyone's just popping, I'll pop 30 seconds on the clock. Jess, great question. It just gets a bit tricky. I thought about it too. Then you're managing 2 accounts. Honestly, people in your family and friend circle want to see what you're doing in business as well. And they actually, you know, help with the engagement because they support you. They will comment, they'll participate. You know, it becomes really cool. And then you've got something to talk about at family birthdays with long lost cousins as well. So hopefully that helps.
Conversation starters.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see what everyone said. I'll pop another 30 on. Ben's out. Got to go. Well done, Ben. Speak soon. Danielle, tidying it up on personal page. Yep. Irene, adding the group link. Perfect. Regina, revisit profile page and adjust needed. Sarah, updating featured photo. Great. Simo, synergy between profile banner, pic, and featured is key. Yep. Cool. Andrea or Andrea, what if you have, what is that question? Sorry, Tyson. What if you have kind of avoid telling friends and family about your business? Yeah, well then stick to the black market for sure. Now that makes sense. If that's totally how things are, yeah, totally on your side for sure. All good. What time have we got? Is it 5 minutes to go? Sort of.
5 minutes. 5 minutes
okay.
Would be good.
I'd love to play a quick game so everyone knows who to let in and who not to let in their group, because you really want a group that has quality over quantity. Okay, big thing, quality over quantity. And sort of how do we decipher who gets in and who gets declined? Okay, I'd rather a small group of like-minded people that are on the same journey than a large group of chaos where you've got, you know, Egyptian princes and all sorts of people in there, you know, pitching all sorts of cryptocurrency stuff and ruining the vibes. Okay, so quality over quantity always. If that is one thing you just take away, perfect. I'm just going to smash through this because I want to give you as much as I possibly can. When you get member requests, there's a ton of different things that you can do to figure out, you know, or help you as to who you let in, who you don't. Profile types. I don't let any pages into my group. Okay, so you can find out if they're a page or a profile. Every time a page posts in your group, you know, it's opportunity for people to, you know, it's pitching almost, and it's coming up ugly and it just looks terrible. You can find out if people have answered all the questions or not. You can find out if they're in groups that you manage. Okay, all of these things will tell you if there's someone you should let in. Have they been invited by a member? Okay, it's really good if they have, because someone's talking about your group. Have you previously removed them? Have they joined Facebook recently? Right, big one. If they joined like, you know, November 31st, 2019, I'm super skeptical as to, you know, who's joining Facebook still now. Okay, some people do though. All right, do you have mutual friends? Really big key as to whether I let people in or not. Am I mutually friends, you know, with them? So let's just play a quick game to wrap things up, and then I'll hand it back over. What I want everyone's participation on for this group game is we're going to play a game called In or Out. We're going to look at two different characters here, and I want you guys to help me decide, do I accept them or not? Now, this is totally objective. These people, from what I know, are real people, but just the way that they've requested to join my group, we're going to judge based on that. Now, if we look at Bashir here, no profile photo, got 21 friends, is in 15 groups, okay? No groups that I'm in. Joined Facebook May 4th this year, and then went through to answer all questions, okay, with the same answer. Now, one question asks for an email. One question is a yes or no, etc. So, based on this, is Bashir in or out? Just pop that into the chat. That'd be great. All right.
Just like in baseball, you're out.
You're out. You're out of there. Cool. All right. So has everyone answered? Anyone else in or out? Who we got left? Get your answer in to win the prize. Okay. Okay. So let's just say everyone said out. You're correct. Yeah. Out. There's a few things there that are standing out. There's no profile photo. Joined Facebook recently. You know, not in any groups that I'm in. I really look for that. If they're in if they're in Tyson's group, if they're in, you know, groups that I'm in, I'm much more understanding of like, okay, this person is on a similar path. It's really cool. Okay. Simo, do you get to tell people as why they might not be a good fit? No, don't have time for that. Like someone comes in as a page, do you let them know? If they're a page, yeah, I do let them know for sure. Great question. But any of this business, don't have time to reach out and, you know, try and understand if they're real or whatever. Okay, second case over here. We've got Rana. Okay, he's got a profile photo. He's got friends, 5,000 friends. He's in 48 groups. Joined Facebook July 11 this year. Lives in Toronto, self-employed, went to the University of Toronto. He's got a bunch of photos. Hasn't answered any questions. We're going to play in or out. Please enter whether he's in or out. Christy says, lol, he's photoshopped the background with the same photo. So no one's in on Rana. What do you reckon, Tyson?
I'm out.
You're out? Okay. Yep, absolutely out. Big problems here is like 5,000 friends in short time frame. And then I'm always curious about anyone that uploads themselves that many times. I'm like, really? Like, is narcissism that bad these days? Okay, but hasn't answered any questions either. Okay, so two examples of out. Now, if you flip that on the other end, you'll find out who's in. You know, they would have joined Facebook last year, year before, multiple years ago. They might not have that many friends. They'll probably be in groups that I'm in or similar ones that are affiliated to what I'm doing or what I'm interested in or helping people with. Okay. Their photos may show a little bit of diversity and they will have answered the questions correctly. Now, just quick check-in. Does this make sense? And is this helpful for everyone when going through and approving members as to who you should let in and who you should move out? That way you can start to build a group that is based on quality all the time. Okay. So Tyson, we've gone, a bit over. I'm happy to answer questions or however you want to run things, but I'll pass the mic back over to you, my man.
Yeah, mate. If anyone has any other questions, more than happy to stay on. These calls generally go for a little bit longer, but we'll see what comes up. Okay. With as many international Prince friends requests I get, makes complete sense, says Jess.
Yeah, totally. And now I guess exception to the rule was this. One of my clients, Brendan, he requested to join the free group and had 0 friends, literally had joined that month. No photos. I went on his profile. I was like, is he literally getting harvested for a Facebook, his account or whatever? And I sent him a message just out of he was a Westerner or whatever. And I just said, dude, you've requested to join my group. Are you legit? Your profile's just started, no friends. And he wrote back and said, I've literally just started a Facebook profile. Don't know what I'm doing. And, can I get some help? And so we started chatting, became a client, but that's exception to the rule. Okay. For the most part, people aren't joining Facebook right now unless they're 15. Okay. Or maybe in a country elsewhere where they've just got access to, whatever. Okay. So yeah, Jess, international princes are a common thing.
And Chrissy says, what do you have when you've already accepted a person in your group that is a page? How do you let them know to join as a person rather than a page?
Yeah, Chrissy, just shoot them a message and just say, hey, I accepted you. I'm changing things up. Just send them the link and say, just join from your profile. From now, I'm just removing all pages. You'll still get access, all the rest.
And Sarah says, could you give some examples of what you would share on your page that you wouldn't necessarily post in your group?
Yeah, great question. So if we go back to thinking about, how we use these two things, if we think about our page as the billboard, what are we doing on there? It's a lot more advertising marketing. So it's a lot more, that's where our ads run from, and marketing. So when you're, in marketing, you might be doing, live video, etc. You might share a piece of content on there, call to action to your group, etc. You'll obviously be running your ads. You might have different lead magnets that you run publicly versus in private in your group. Sorry, my handwriting's getting shocking. Yep. There's, you'll just shift things differently. I would I would recommend that you just don't copy the content and dump that into your group, okay, as a way of duplicating your content. Think about these people you're talking to from a billboard perspective. You've got no relationship, no rapport, no contact with their people outside, okay? When they come into your group, you can talk to them on that different level, okay, being here. And Jess, in terms of your name doesn't match place, is that in regards to group and page? That's totally cool. We didn't talk about Facebook group names, but it doesn't need to be, and it probably shouldn't be your business name, because the people that don't know you probably aren't searching for a group named Jess Plumbers. I don't know what you do, Jess, dental practice, okay? So name your group around the thing that you help people with. What else we got there, Tyson?
So as far as Andrea says, as far as portfolio type work goes, I'm assuming that would be a billboard.
Give me an example, Andrea.
So Andrea does design sort of work, and so if it's going to be more of a portfolio type,
totally,
is that on a billboard?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You might use some of that in your group as well if it creates conversation, but let's not use a group to slap our stuff that we're proud of. If it's not causing a conversation, a question, prompting someone to the next step, etc. So yeah, totally get that for sure.
Awesome. I'll just add here, the reason why the Facebook group we've got going on here has been so successful and such an engaging group is is basic, and a lot of the feedback I get from a lot of the members is that I actually care. Right? That's one piece that I think everyone can take away as well, is I actually care about the people in my community. And everyone knows my journey of doing a lot of meditation. You know, the creativity that flows out of my meditation, and when I start resolving a lot of my internal conflicts, is I just have so much. There's so much flow of love and gratitude and appreciation for you guys that my brain's on fire with creative ideas on how to get you to move forward with your goals, and to do some thought reversals and get you to see things in different ways. And I'm just so creative with that because I actually care about you guys. I actually care about this community. I think that's a key piece with a lot that can be placed on top of a lot of the strategies. If you don't care, they can feel that. And so that's something I would add in as well.
Especially because we're online, and the online space isn't necessarily young anymore around, online clientele and relationships. So you can definitely feel the care aspect. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I think that's it, my man. Ryan, this has been an absolute master of masterclasses. Everyone,
appreciate it.
You can just tell by the chat that everyone's got so much value, so much, not only awareness, but also key tips to take away and actually implement. So
super cool.
And you can tell by Ryan how much he's passionate about this as well, and how much he cares about this topic. So, man, if you wanted to, are you able to place a link for your group in the chat?
Yeah, sure. You can find it. I'll pop a link there. Yeah, let me pop a link. You can find it by searching Facebook group Growth Secrets, but a link is probably easier for everybody. Appreciate all the love as well. I just want to say thanks for having me on to hang out. I do geek out on this stuff a lot, so it's really cool to spend time with like-minded people that want to implement and take action on all of this. So thank you to everyone.
That's amazing. What I might do is I'll put a post in the group so that you guys, it helps myself and Ryan for you guys to be able to share with us what the biggest takeaway was and have some engagement around it. Not only so Ryan can engage with you, but also so you can engage with each other.
Totally.
So what I'll do is I'll put in a post. So that you guys can start to comment and give away your biggest feedback, and then Ryan can see who was on this call, and you can all start getting a conversation as well. So while I write this up, is there anything else, Ryan, that you would want people to know, or any extra tips if they're getting started, or just really willing to take action on this sort of stuff?
I think the answer is so much. There's so much I want you all to know. I could literally talk about this till, we all go to sleep tonight. I think from what we've just gone through, at least just implement one thing. Just pick one thing, just implement on that, whether that's your profile, whether that's the content inside your group, whether that's the shift of how you're delivering stuff, and just do that. Make sure you get used to doing that. Maybe it's letting members into your group and how you accept or decline them. But yeah, there's so much to Facebook groups. It's complex until you focus in on those little things. So that's probably what I would say. If you want more help, just shoot me a message, and happy to brainstorm a plan.
I've been talking to Ryan all the time, and he's super helpful with just any tips and tricks. If you just have any questions, he's more than happy to. So this is the post, everyone.
Boom.
Jump on there and give us your biggest takeaway, and maybe we can get some more conversations going, generate some ideas for yourself, but it'll also allow you to, be accountable to place, like you said, just place one piece of implementation, and you'll be able to rock and roll and get some momentum building.
Boom. Thanks, Tyson.
Awesome. Ryan, you're an absolute champion. Thanks everyone for showing up. I'm glad you got a lot of value, and jump in his group. He's got so much more value in there. So I'll see you guys in the group. I'll see you guys on that post. And Ryan, thanks so much again. That's been awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, my friend.
Adios.